I fell in love with Descendants of Zombies over 10 years ago, and I've been in love with it ever since, and it's forever and always remained that way for me because I felt forever passionate about the characters you've loved and the stories and the moments that you've appreciated. And I think over time, we've all taken away that greater appreciation from what once was something so special and considered to be something so special by far more people than we ever imagined it would be. And now we look at Descendants Wicked Wonderland and how the stars glow during the press tour because Malia Baker looks like an absolute angel in the press tour of Descendants Wicked Wonderland. If you haven't seen any of her recent photos, she really does look like an angel who is having the best time of her life. And that's what I wanted to see from all of these people involved with the press tour. Were having the time of their life because I didn't want to see them face their fair share of criticism, which I knew they were going to face. But seeing how they've dressed during the press tour, how they seem to be having the time of their life, how they seem to be there for each other every step of the way more often than enough. I think that can be taken into consideration because this franchise has come a considerable way in such a short amount of time. And it's really amazing to see how far this franchise has come in such a short amount of time. Mattel has recently updated the toy line. We have brand new dolls being released for Descendants Wicked Wonderland, including a brand new pink doll, which I know Liamani Segura is very fond of. With everything going on in Hollywood now, this is exactly what Descendants needs to really put themselves over because I really do believe the more promotion that Descendants, the more promotional backing it can receive, it can really take it to places that we never thought it would get to or never imagined we would see for it. I think that The Rise of Red had a phenomenal promotional campaign backing it 2 years ago, and I think Wicked Wonderland can have the same thing happening for it. And that is proven evident by how people buy the dolls, how people always buy the updated Halloween costumes every year, going door to door looking for Halloween treats dressed up as their favorite Descendants characters, which is something I've really appreciated experiencing over time because that happens to me every year on Halloween. Girls show up at my door every year dressed up as their favorite characters. Some of them updated, some of them wearing previous costumes they may have worn the year before, and they always come back because they always see this appreciation coming from me about their favorite characters and their favorite moments, which is something that's always been with me. It's always been present with me every single time that I've ever pushed record when it comes to recording my thoughts and sharing my thoughts with everybody on Descendants of Zombies is this appreciation and the level of it that often resonates from my heart with every fan of Descendants of Zombies. I can kind of really sympathize with all of you because I've taken the time to really appreciate my audience because there's a certain level of appreciation that comes with hosting a show like this. Hosting a podcast like this allows you to have more of a reach than I ever imagined I would. 10 years ago, YouTube has seen so many changes over the last decade. Your videos can be longer. Your videos can be streamed live and go 4K. There's so much to expect from a video now. Years ago, you couldn't do any of that. So your videos couldn't have as far of a reach as they can now. But just knowing that these videos have reached more people and touched more hearts than I ever thought they would, that means more to me than words could ever say. To be able to sit here and talk about all my fondest memories of being a Disney fan and touch the hearts of Disney fans just like me, who probably feel even more passionately about their favorite characters and these wonderful stories that first brought these characters to life for over at least 50 years, became the greatest honor of my life. And honestly, the most fun that I've ever had as a content creator, because there are oftentimes people will create content about things they love, but you never really see the passionate thoughts coming from them. But on this YouTube channel, you at least get the chance to hear a guy talking forever passionately about his favorite characters and his favorite moments that he got to share in with all of you. I remember the first time that I watched Zombies back in 2018. I was going through a really rough time in my life, and then Zombies kind of just happens, and it allows me to really put things into perspective in ways that I never was able to put into perspective ever before in my life. And I always remember taking away a greater appreciation for what Zed and Addison's story once represented and what it would eventually evolve into, which became something far more to appreciate than I ever thought we would. And now we're sitting here almost 10 years after Zed and Addison premiered as part of the Zombies franchise and really looking at how far Zombies has come. The music has changed considerably. The story has gotten better and been taken that much further and that much deeper than perhaps ever before. And I've just loved being a part of it. I've loved to have the chance to experience all of these moments because of Zed and Addison's story now having been told and completed. And just seeing them always popping up, promoting Zombies 5, Secrets of the Sea, revealing the title like they recently did. It just goes to show how passionate they feel about having been a part of something as special as what Zombies was. I don't think there was a single person who ever watched Zombies in their life that didn't take something special away from it. I don't think there ever was a single person ever in their life who didn't take something special away from Descendants, who just wanted to feel a part of it, who wanted to feel intertwined. And many of us had the chance to become intertwined because of how we felt about Descendants of Zombies, because many of us felt the same way. But now in saying that, there are more fans of Descendants of Zombies who obviously have been made to feel differently about how their favorite character stories kind of played out, because it probably wasn't what you were expecting. There have been many fans who have been made to feel very differently. But again, that's what creates diversity. I know there was a lot of skepticism about the press tour going into the PR for Descendants Wicked Wonderland, because we were left wondering if anything was ever going to happen for Wicked Wonderland's press tour. And now it's finally unfolding. Malia Baker looks like an absolute angel, having the time of her life, and I couldn't be more proud to call myself a Malia Baker fan. She's from Canada, where I live, and it's so cool seeing the stars of Descendants Wicked Wonderland being represented the way they have, and being so excited to be a part of all this PR. And we have things like Supergirl coming up this summer. Supergirl, Moana, we have The Cat in the Hat coming up this fall. So Descendants Wicked Wonderland has a lot to contend with. There's no doubt about that. And they have a lot to contend with also release of the Camp Rock 3 movie coming out in August. So we don't only just have Descendants 5 to look ahead to, we have Camp Rock 3. So we have competition happening on both sides of Disney, on the Disney spectrum. So I really do believe that Descendants has its fair share of competition to contend with. So they're going to have to come out swinging. But how they're going to surpass all their competition and for sure all the criticism is because of all of us. Because we have forever been loyal to Descendants for at least the last decade. And it's been an incredible decade, let me tell you. It's been an incredible decade where we seem to have experienced everything, from the death of Cameron Boyce to the premieres of all these wonderful movies, to all these emotional times in the stars' lives when more often than enough, they couldn't make sense of really anything happening around them. But what got them through were our love and support, because there's always been something special about this niche. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I see it as there's always been something so special about this niche that has brought people that much closer together and allowed them to feel intertwined and connected in ways that no other franchise ever allowed them to really feel. We never got that from High School Musical. We never saw that same level of appreciation coming from Hannah Montana. Even with how popular Hannah Montana was, I've known girls who've loved Hannah Montana for over 15 years, and they always loved singing their favorite Hannah Montana songs, because undeniably it was the music that got Hannah Montana over and put Hannah Montana in the position she was as the main go-to for Disney Channel. But we never saw that same level of appreciation, even with how popular Miley Cyrus was as that character coming from Hannah Montana. But when it comes to this appreciation for Descendants of Zombies and this fandom, you guys have forever been loyal to your favorite characters and all these wonderful moments, regardless of who your favorite character may have been, because everybody's favorite character is never the same. Not everybody's favorite character is going to be Mal all the time. Not everybody's favorite character is going to be Red all the time, because there's a certain level of appreciation that comes with being a fan of, say, Princess Red, because she's still so relatively new. There's a lot of novelty still surrounding her character. And I get it that there are people who will forever say that there is no chance of us ever seeing a trilogy for Descendants: The Rise of Red, but there really is. Because I think they can really let bygones be bygones, put the past in the past, and kind of move forward. For however long they can move forward with it, they can move forward long enough so that we do see a conclusion that's actually worth building up for and really worth watching. Because I really do believe that even though we may see the conclusion of Red and Chloe's story eventually, there is still so much of a story for characters played by Keanu Romero and Liamani Segura, who are just so excited to be a part of this franchise. So I say, let's give them a chance. What more needs to be said? Let's give them a chance, and let's take the criticism out of the conversation and replace it with something nice. Because I know there are people, thousands of them, who come from everywhere to watch these videos every night on YouTube. And it's just a shame that you guys just can't find anything decent to watch, because there are a lot of AI videos that are often incorporated into Descendants coverage that often never really make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. The majority of these videos, at least 75 to 80% of them at least, are reaction videos that only run for about 5 minutes in length. And what can you get in a 5 minute video? You don't really get a whole lot. And I know in these teaser trailers that only ran for about a minute and a half, about 90 seconds of our time, we didn't really get a whole lot. And that's what people saw in the teaser reactions for Descendants Wicked Wonderland. We didn't really get a whole lot. But what Disney is trying to do is leave us, dangling from a cliff, leaving us more excited about the future of Descendants more than ever before. Not literally dangling from a cliff that we can't climb our way up off of, but they really just want to keep us guessing about what the future has in store. Because the thing about the future is, if the future was even more certain than what it is right now, we'll be even as excited about the future and have the chance to experience as what we are moving forward with it. The thing that's always made the future so unpredictable and forever exciting is how we never seem to know what our futures have in store. I referred to it earlier today as going to a movie and seeing the 15-minute preview pre-show. Because when you watch the 15-minute preview pre-show, you never know what's coming next. And I've always said that the most exciting thing about the previews are you never know what's coming next. We never thought we'd see Spider-Man Brand New Day. We thought we'd see a live action Moana, but they are coming. And the same thing can happen for Descendants of Zombies in terms of predictions and theories that people can make, because even though they make predictions and theories, that doesn't necessarily mean that their predictions and theories will come true. It's just how they feel and what they think may happen. And that's always what's made Descendants of Zombies such a privilege to cover, is that so many people's conversations and predictions and theories tend to be different. So they all come together, and sometimes they often clash, but they create something far more beautiful, like a cauldron of butterflies, because every prediction represents a likely butterfly. So because every prediction represents a likely butterfly, their predictions take flight. And when their predictions take flight like a lovely butterfly, their predictions seem to be more beautiful than ever before, because there are predictions that sometimes may seem to be very unrealistic, but they are some of the most beautiful predictions that I've ever heard. So that's why every individual prediction sometimes remind me of beautiful butterflies and how they come together like, something so special and create something so magical. I've seen all of your guys' promotional graphics, all your guys' predictions, and, all along I really believe who have been promoting Descendants of Zombies really have been all of us. We can criticize the PR tour as often and as much as what we like, but I really believed who's always been there at the forefront promoting Descendants Book of Wonderland from the very beginning, from the very first moment this was ever greenlit, and this was ever in the minds of everybody who was ever a part of the production team, who's always been promoting Descendants of Zombies, who's always been right then and there, have been all of us. And we've been forever loyal. And it's because of our loyalty and our consistency and our believement in how this is going to be something so special that's kept us in the middle of all of this and kept us more excited than ever before. Because as we move forward, one of the most difficult things and challenges we're often faced with is, we've never wanted to change with the times. But as the times change and constantly evolve, I've always believed that the challenge is presented from how we have to change with the times. So as we change with the times, only beautiful things can really come from it. And the most beautiful things have yet to be experienced, because we can really give this new cast more of a chance. I think the new music is really going to allow them to really share our story with them in a way that we've never ever had the chance to have any story share with us before, because we remember how High School Musical and Hannah Montana achieved popularity. It obviously had everything to do with the music. And I think this music, yes, may be obviously very different, but I think Red having her first ever ballad, I think Red having created a sister may present a lot of challenges along the way. And as she navigates the many challenges of sisterhood, it gives us something more to be excited about, because I can guarantee you, while I may not know what the future of Descendants Book of Wonderland may ever have in store, I do know that Red will take away a greater appreciation for the challenges that sisterhood will present her with along the way, because we're all faced with it. We all have a little sister or a little brother who sometimes tends to get on our nerves, but they never really mean it. The reason why they get on our nerves all the time is because they never can seem to say they love us so much. And at the end of every conversation or every argument we have with them, we always take away a greater appreciation for how they see us as their hero. Because you're probably somebody who falls into this category where you have a little brother or a little sister. You're probably a little sister yourself. And you see your sister, your bigger sister, as your hero. And I'm here to tell you guys, there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with it. As sure as you're watching this video on your tablet, to consider your sister as your best friend or your hero. Because I think that that will show her how much you appreciate her, how much you think about her. And that's what makes this so wonderful to have the chance to be a part of. I've really loved having the chance to be a part of something so special with all of you, and I would love to continue to be a part of this for many years to come, because we still have a long way to go with this story, because I've always believed that this story is far from over. And I really do believe that because this story is far from over, there are so many predictions that we have yet to make, and so many predictions that we can continue to make as we move forward with this franchise. What we are looking at now is a release window of July 16th for Descendants Book of Wonderland. We may never know what the future for Descendants Book of Wonderland has in store, but the release window is suggesting July 16th. And again, the very next night on Disney Plus, which is going to be something far more unpredictable than we've ever had the chance to be a part of, because I think this story is about to go to places it's never been taken to before. It's going to go that much deeper, And a greater appreciation is about to be taken away from Red's new ballad and the new Perfect Princess music video, which already has gotten millions of views and thousands of likes. And that was to be expected because, again, the loyalty has always meant something to me. While I can't speak for everybody, the loyalty coming from within this niche is something more often than enough to appreciate from everybody. And we've had the chance to be a part of that. And I've had the chance to experience this because I've really been front and center for Descendants of Zombies for quite some time. And honestly, guys, I've never had any regrets, or I've never had anything to look back on with any regret, because in all honesty, guys, I've really had the time of my life. Just sitting here behind this microphone every night has been considered both an honor and a privilege by myself, and it's something I've looked forward to for a very long time. These conversations have held a very special place in my heart that I've had with you, and they will continue to have a very special place in my heart for many years to come. Having said that, guys, thank you so much on this exceptionally beautiful evening for joining me once again for another breakdown of Descendants of Zombies, all the wonderful characters we can expect to see for the first time ever coming up in Descendants Wicked Wonderland. And I'm so excited to be a part of a future that involves them and all of you, because you put me here and I've loved being here. And this show happens because of you. It was created for you, and because of you, this is your show. And this is always the way it will be here, because we have so many people who have kind of come together and truly created something so special. And that's forever magical to me and something to always appreciate. From wherever you're watching this video tonight, just know that whatever you may be going through, everything is going to be okay. And why that is because every night that sun sets, we are looking at both the same moon and the same stars. And that's something more often than enough to really appreciate and to put into perspective. Just know that we are getting there. We are going to see Descendants Wicked Wonderland, but despite the lack of promotion for this one has really been blown out of proportion, and blown out of proportion in so many unique and fabulous ways because of all of you, because you guys are always what's promoted Descendants of Zombies and forever made it so special for everybody, including guys like yours truly. Having said that, thank you so very much for always watching this YouTube channel. We will pick up this conversation bright and early tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. Until then, I am your host, Jonathan Clarke, of course, forever appreciative of these moments I've had the chance to share them with all of you. And from my heart to yours, as always and forever, thank you so very much for always having watched these videos.